Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope all's well with you and yours. What's good, what's good, what's good? So we actually have a lot going on today. A lot. You're going to wake up to good news. China's Zhang Ming urged expanding the digital yuan, and that's to kind of control or counter the US dollar's dominance on stablecoins. Interesting, right? Yeah, pretty interesting. But that's a good thing because it says that this is why. The next batter up is Japan's open house. We touched on this yesterday a little bit, but I wanted to expand on it a little bit. Japan's open house, a real estate network, says that they're going to be accepting XRP, Solana, and DOGE for payments for real estate purchases. That's a big deal because I keep saying to everybody, the more large companies get into this, even small ones, but the more companies that get into accepting Bitcoin, accepting other, digital assets as payment options, you're going to start to see things expand. That right there should be good news. Really, really good news. Bloomberg says that Solana meme coin sparked a controversy as insiders exploited pump and dump schemes, saying it's a breeding ground for pump and dump schemes. Now I can't say anything bad, but yeah, I believe that. Hey, Chicano, what's going on? Then you've got Pakistan, Brunei, and the Philippines kicking off all kinds of digital IDs for use for banking and national ID, verification services, licensing. Digital IDs are really booming. The only thing I couldn't find out, I have to dig a little bit more. I need to find out what technologies did they actually use to pull that off. Right? And you figure they're probably going to expand as much as possible, right? But again, that's the Philippines, Pakistan, and Brunei, with other projects I think going on in Thailand. So there's a lot going on in the digital ID space. So it would be amazing to know, well, what technology did you use? Obviously it was blockchain, but what specific, project did you use? And, how was it implemented? And do you have any further to go, or are you complete with that project? That's what's going to be interesting to me to find out. Then you've got the top DeFi projects. You want to know what the top DeFi projects are? Right? Chainlink. Yeah. Uniswap and Injective. Those are the biggest development platforms out there for handling DeFi projects. And then obviously for handling DeFi, the biggest project out there is Aave. You're going to connect to Aave at some point. So it's like that. What else do we have? Bitcoin rose 2.7% after Trump yesterday started speaking about a different kind of tariff strategy. So it sounds like April 2nd could be a very different kind of day than what we originally thought, which is why Bitcoin spiked. Something else that he did, which is causing a lot of controversy, is he tweeted out or not tweeted, but he posted somewhere, maybe on his platform or whatever, but he posted somewhere that, he loves the Trump coin, the Trump meme coin. And it immediately spiked before coming back down. And I'm sitting here and I'm just going, I don't know that it's proper for a person sitting in that position to have an avenue where, let's say, nefarious money could seep in. I feel strongly about that. Politicians should not have meme coins, any kind of coin. Seriously. It's okay to hold coin, but have their own coin? Yeah, no, I'm not with that. I'm not with that. Metaplanet became Asia's largest Bitcoin holder with 3,350 Bitcoin. That's huge, spending 42.2 billion yen to achieve that role. And you've got to say to yourself, not just Metaplanet, but Japan itself is starting to grow in that space, like grow big. I just told you about Open House. And then you have Pi Network still facing big issues when it comes to their network. Right now, people are talking about, well, how are you decentralized when you control these things called super nodes? How are you decentralized? And people are, still crying about, well, what's the ownership like? What's the governance like? All those kinds of things. So people are really falling off of the Pi Network bandwagon in a major, major, major fashion. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, no, Yeah, still not touching that. And remember what I said, Justin Bonds had said that, yeah, this project seems a bit more than just a little shaky. A bit more than just a little shaky. To me, I'm going to come out right and say it. I think it's a scam. I really do. I know a couple other people that were like, yeah, I think it's a scam too. People that do the research and all that good stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not feeling that idea. I'm not feeling, this little thing that they have going on. Why is that? Well, if you control the supernodes, and the supernodes can, top over a certain percentage, you control the network. That's not decentralization. That is not decentralization. So yeah, no, I'm not going for that. Right? I just can't. And Bloomberg, the one that really got me in terms of this morning's news, Bloomberg says Solana meme coins spark controversy and is a breeding ground for rug pulls. That one, that one stings. That one stings. And this is on top of Anatoly, one of the co-founders, Anatoly getting out there and saying L2s, he doesn't like L2s. And I'm sitting back and I'm just going, most of the coins out there are L2s. So now you only believe in L1s. Okay, yeah, everybody to each their own. But your network is questionable. Questionable. So yeah, I think about these kind of things as I do my research, and I'm, making all my calculations on what I'm going to do, how am I going to do it, what I'm going to buy, what am I going to sell, all of those different things. All those different things, that's what I consider. So when I see news like that, I'm kind of like, yeah, not so much. Not so much. But you know what we should do? That's right. We should get into the numbers. Yeah, I know I'm early today. I'm an hour early today. It's because I have to go back down to the city. So every so often, I think like once, twice a week, I'm down in the city. Let's do this. There you go. And we're going to end with that. So let's go over here. Let's look at what's going on today. You flash U.S. services PMI. Okay, cool. Manufacturing PMI. Consumer confidence comes out tomorrow. Case-Shiller report, home index comes out tomorrow. On Wednesday, we've got durable goods orders, durable goods minus transportation. Then we got a little bit of Fed speak. Thursday is a big day because we have initial job claims, GDP second revision, advanced U.S. trade balance in goods. So you have some good stuff. Pending home sales is a big deal, and you have more Fed speak. I call out Fed speak for a reason. I really do. I call it out for a reason. You should pay attention. Friday, we've got personal income, personal spending, PCE index, PCE year over year, crypto sticko. Haven't seen you in a minute. What's good, brother? Then we've got core PCE index. So we've got a lot of and consumer sentiment. That whole block is going to be what I'm paying attention to. This whole block right here. Why? Wow. Everything around personal income. Everything around spending, everything around what they're doing is going to be a big deal to me, a very big deal. So I'm paying attention to that. Fear ingredient index is at 50. It's at 45. That's significantly up. Why? Again, Trump said something positive about tariffs, and people are starting to react to it. Not mad about that, but we have to see the follow through. I'm always going to be saying the same thing: how and when. Why do I ask those questions? Because we have to follow the GMB3, right? Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. You must know those three. It's a very big deal. It's bigger than what you think. It's very much bigger than what you think. DeFi Llama, we're back above $100 billion in total value locked. I'm hoping that we can stay there, but we'll see what happens. Bitcoin, as I was noting this earlier, it's seen a spike. Why? Again, positive notation on tariffs. That's going to be a very big deal. It's going to play a very big role. We've got a long way to go. You see that little green line? That's the high. So we've got a long way to go. Again, if you're thinking about pulling profits and all that kind of stuff and seeing a possible transition, imagine we keep, going up a little bit. If that trajectory changes and we keep going up, what I'm going to tell you is, well, we're not that far away from that all-time high. However, I will also say there's enough of a distance here that even if you got in at this point, you're still going to make 20%. Still going to make 20% minimum. If we all go for the all-time high, I'll show you how I get to that number in a moment. Then if you're looking at the big board, you see Pi just bloody at 95 cents. It's below $1. It's been below $1 for a while. I expect it's going to drop some more. Link is up. Link had been at 12 for a little bit there. It had been at 12 for a little bit there. So to pick up $3, okay, that was a 25% move. Where else are you going to get 25%? Like I said, Link had been at 12 and now it's at 15. That's a $3 change. Again, 25% move. Pay attention to these things. You could be making money even at these levels, but you got to do your own research. You must do your own research. What else do we have? DOGE. DOGE is probably going to see a spike. Why? Japan. What I told you about Japan's open house. They're accepting XRP, DOGE, and Solana as payment for real estate. I'm just saying, because they're trying to pull in different people to buy real estate. So you see Solana spiking at $1.40. You see, $140. Sorry. You have Avalanche going up. XRP is still at a good price. It's up. It's below $2.50. I see XRP below $2.50. I'm all about it. Are you paying attention to ETH? ETH moving up there? Yeah, more development happening on ETH. Yeah, it had been in the 18s, 19s. Yeah, and now look at it. Almost at 21. Just saying. BNB, I say this all the time. Don't sleep on BNB. Don't sleep on BCH. Don't do it. You'll hurt yourself. Those are opportunities to make money. At $87,000, it would take $22,000 to get to $109,000. Well, last I checked, $19.40. That's 20%. You're still under the $22. See what I mean? Just saying, 22,000. So you sit there and you kind of go, I can make a quick 20% if it just achieves its all-time high, right? When I go across and I start looking at the year to date, it's dropping year to date. So it's moving in the right direction. So is Ethereum. When I look at XRP, look at what XRP is doing, 15%. It hasn't been in the red in a minute, but it is now. It hasn't been in the green for a minute, but it is now. Solana, not doing all that great at the moment. And it's a far cry from BNB. And it's a far cry from DOGE. But want to know who's on its heels? USDC. USDC. If USDC grows, it could take that. It could take the number 7 slot. Just saying. I'm paying attention to these things in big ways, very big ways. Cardano under 70 cents. At 70 cents, I'm still looking at Cardano and saying, you know what? I could get in and I can make money off of Cardano. I can definitely make money off of Cardano. And I just wish that the Cardano team would do better marketing. They're not mad about anything else. They're doing a lot. But in terms of marketing, they're not doing anything. Shiba Inu does better marketing. They should pay attention to what Shiba Inu is doing. And look at that. So let me refresh this. I don't think I refreshed it all that. Let's go. There you go. So you have Chainlink at 15.24. Cardano, my bad, is at 72 cents. Let's go back up and take a look at these numbers. Yeah, XRP is up 18% year to date. These are great numbers. I've been telling you before, pay attention to these things. Why? I don't use this chart all that much. I try to use it, just because it gives me a lot of numbers going across. But there's another chart that I use even more, and I'll share it with you. I use the GMB crypto tracker. Why? Because I get the GMB X factor. Bitcoin is 0.25, 25% away from its all-time high. So I can make that 0.25x. That's not bad. Ethereum 1.34, yeah, it's going to make it. I have no problem with that. XRP at 0.38, duh. That is a duh moment right there. So I'm definitely going to pay attention to that. I need to lock that in. I didn't do it yet. 110 Solana. I just don't like Solana. What I have right now is what I have. I'm not going to be adding to it anymore, period. But this is the chart that I use because I want the GMB X factor next to other key data that helps me make my decision on what I'm going to buy, how I'm going to buy. Again, do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Those are the things that I'm paying attention to these days. Those are the things right there. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and absolutely invest deliberately. Absolutely. And if you have a chance, become a member of the community. Go to growmybag.tv/sign-up. We've got a lot of things coming. This is the new website that we're working on, way more interactive, full-blown social media. We've got the feed. We've got a private group called the Big Baggers. You can see that when you go to sign-up, and you can see what the Big Baggers is all about. But one of the main things we have is, that's right, a monthly video conference call between just the Big Baggers, where we exchange all kinds of ideas, information, and insights. And that means we learn from each other actively. And this group right here makes it so we can continue those conversations in a private space just for Big Baggers. That's the added advantage. Everybody, I hope you have a great day. Good luck. Have a good one. Bye-bye.